Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for January 22nd. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm Chris Brown.
What do you got?
I'm going to kick it off here with this. My leadoff pick here is a top pick that I had from the first issue. This is a pretty cool book by Boombox. This is an imprint from Boom. This is the Midas Flesh #2. It's written by Ryan North, who also worked on Adventure Time. It's got kind of a cartoony vibe, but it's sort of a futuristic explorer kind of thing where they're exploring Earth surrounding the myth of King Midas. So Earth is completely covered in gold, and they are trying to explore it and figure out what's going on. It looks like there are some people that still live on Earth, maybe, or some creatures, some weird things, almost like a Morlocks or what, I don't know, but the Earth is covered in gold, and these guys are trying to figure it out. It's got a scientific kind of approach along with a kind of adventurous approach, kind of cool. Next up, I've got All New Invaders. This is a book by James Robinson. This is, I'm really excited. He's moved over to Marvel here. We got this. He's going to be doing Fantastic Four coming up. This is essentially his take of the Invaders. He had done the DC's Golden Age book. He likes that era of superheroes. Yeah. You know, he did Earth 2 where he was kind of reinventing the wheel a little bit, kind of taking an approach at the Golden Age DC heroes, but making them more updated. Kind of an interesting thing. So I really want to see what he's going to do here. This does look like it's a little modern, but it looks like it's also going back and exploring the World War II stuff a little bit. So that's that should be a good one. Should be a fun one. I really enjoy James Robinson's stuff a lot. Next up, I've got Black Widow #2. The first issue I really enjoyed a lot. This was, it felt like sort of a one-shot. It was the Black Widow, while she also still works for the Avengers, she also takes these little Black Ops missions where she's, only people that deserve it. She's taking money that she's feeding into these little funds and trust funds and things she's got to take care of other people. She doesn't want to make a profit from her dirty work. Right. She's got a guy that's feeding her missions, her lawyer, and doing that sort of stuff. And it's been a pretty cool book. I dig it. I'm at least curious to see where that's going. I liked the previous Black Widow book they did. Took that away from me. I'm glad they gave me another one. Next up, I've got Eternal Warrior #5. I really enjoy these Valiant books. I am behind on this one. I think I only read the first issue, so it looks like we got a 4-issue story arc, and then we're starting an all-new arc here with issue 5. Valiant's doing a good job right now of giving you good jumping-on spots to jump into the middle of. It's kind of interesting. They've got all this, all-new arc stuff starting right around their Unity event. So it's a smart thing to do there. Looks like they're also another book coming called Armor Hunters. They really seem to be anchoring their universe around Exo Manowar this time around. The previous universe was anchored around Harbinger. This seems to be anchored around Harbinger and Exo Manowar with a little bit more focus on Exo. This is a really cool Shane Davis cover. Nice. Really like Shane quite a bit. Looks like also probably inked or colored by Michelle, his wife. She does a lot of stuff with him there. Looks like we're doing a little backstory here on Exo. There was the chick had gotten the suit. He's fighting. Looks like he's fighting Ninjak, or he was. That was a part of the whole thing, as everyone was sort of invading the turf where they were. I think the all-new arc started for them, though, an issue or 2 ago. So we're right in the middle of something. I'm totally behind on most things as I am, but I love these Valiant books. Next up, Samurai Jack #4 by IDW. This was old high school buddy of mine, Andy Siriano, doing the artwork. He had also worked on the cartoon all those years ago. This is written by Jim Zub. This is Jack searching for the threads of time so he can try and get back. This is a big, long mission that he's in so he can take on Aku and get back to where he belongs. It feels very much like the old cartoon. Very cool stuff. Again, Andy did character designs on the old show. So it does have that similar vibe, even though it looks like he's playing a little bit more with his style here and having some fun with it. Cool book. It's been a real popular one, too. Good. Everyone seems to be glad to have Samurai Jack back. Next, I've got, I'm going to jump into my Image books here. This is Bedlam. This is issue #11 by Nick Spencer and Ryan Brown. Ryan is full-on doing Ryan artwork now. He's no longer looks like someone else. It's full-on his stuff. It looks really fantastic. About 2 or 3 issues behind on this one as well. It's so hard to keep up. You had mentioned your list had shrunk a little. Yeah. You're falling a little behind.
Starting to chop.
But this is one I'm definitely still going to hang with, and I'm probably going to be easier for me to just read in a few big chunks here. This is a really, really cool book. I love Ryan's artwork. Really cool stuff. Ryan, we had him in the store a few weeks ago. Cool dude. Next, Dead Body Road. This is one that I am actually caught up on because there's only one issue preceding it. Dead Body Road issue number 2. This is written by Justin Jordan, guy who had done, he's doing what?
Green Lantern, New
Green
Guardians.
Lantern right now, but he also did the Luther Strode, which I really liked. And I don't know if this is the same artist, but it looks the same. It might be. Mm-hmm. Looks very, very similar to that vibe. Now I'm trying to remember what the story was. As I recall, there was someone was on the run to some degree. I believe there was like maybe a mobster thing going on. I don't remember our main character being such a good guy. I'm going to have to go back and kind of, again, I'm caught up. I don't remember what happened. This is great artwork, though. Really, really cool stuff. And Justin Jordan's writing is pretty stellar. He's got he can go real dark and violent from time to time. And that's looking like that one is going to be pretty dark. Here we got a book. Actually, I'm surprised I ended up with this in my stack, with it being a Rick Remender book. Maybe you didn't realize it was a Rick Remender. Don't you usually take the Remender books?
He's been on the chopping block a lot.
Really? Oh my God! You better look out. I have no idea what this is about. It's called Deadly Class. It's a Rick Remender book. It's an Image book. I wanted to give that number 1 a first shot. No idea what the story's about, but the art looks cool. It doesn't look super straightforward. Looks like maybe like a young kid kind of thing. Maybe that's what it is. There's always, it looks like a little Dia de los Muertos thing going on. No idea, but it's Remender. I'm willing to give it a try. It's an Image number 1. Next up, Umbral, number 3. This is Anthony Johnston and Christopher Mitten. This is kind of an odd book. It's there was a child that was trying to take the Umbral, just to borrow it for a minute. There's some kind of magic thing going on in this world, but there's this darkness that's coming also to get it at the same time. So a bunch of people end up dying. I believe there was a princess that was with her, ended up dying. And she's now on the run with seemingly some kind of weird homeless dude who seems to be a practitioner of magic. The first issue kind of had a Dark Crystal vibe to me a little bit. It's getting far different than that now. Second issue didn't feel as much that way. It's more the artwork and the constant use of purples that's maybe giving me that vibe. But the story itself is becoming something different. And, there's dark magic and weird things chasing a little girl who has some kind of magic object. I like it. I dig it.
Cool.
Next up, we've got The Walking Dead number 120. Not my top pick this week. This is All Out War, chapter 6 of 12. I'm just going to go ahead and ruin it for you if you're not caught up. I mean, too bad. In the previous issue, Negan comes knocking on the door, returns Holly, and we find out she's a zombie, and she takes a chomp out of somebody, and now we're dealing with that and the fact that Negan's decided to start hurling grenades over the wall. Wow. This has gotten real nasty. Negan's gotten real confident. We've got a return of a character we hadn't seen in a little bit. It clearly looks like things are changing. There is an ally that has finally shown that he is in fact our ally. There's things happening, although it feels like not a lot happens. This story it's a longer story, one of the longer stories they've ever done, and we've now got we're at the halfway point. This is going to be easier to read in one big chunk. When you finally get to sit down and read it in a 12-issue chunk, it's going to feel like a movie. It's moving quick. Some issues are giving you a little bit more to deal with. Others are just jumping to what they're trying to jump to. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Good issue, but kind of leaves you just like, where's the next one? All right, what are we going to do? But it was good.
I'm going to start off here with Chew. This is number 39. This is... Again, John Layman, Rob Guillory. I did get caught up on this finally.
Okay, it's been a great book.
Solid stuff. Chew, we've kind of backed off a little bit from the vampire storyline.
Building to it.
Oh yeah,
still.
It's kind of the thread underneath.
Yes,
but they're not actively pursuing them at the moment because they're getting pieces in place.
They're almost preparing.
Chew, he had to eat some of his sister's toe to learn what she knew, and basically started hallucinating her as if she were there, kind of helping him out with some things, because she could, when he eats something, he sees its past. When she eats something, she sees its future. So she saw some things that are going to be coming his way, and then left her toe for him to eat so that he could see her past, which would be the future. Complicated stuff. It left Tony in kind of a weird place because that's kind of a weird thing to do, to eat your sister's toe.
Well, and because she sees the future, I don't know so much that he was hallucinating her as much as they were now in the same place.
Well, yeah, it's
like
hard
she was
to
talking
see how,
to him from that weird future vision thing.
right? But even she was getting confused as to whether or not something was happening at the moment, or if it was happening. She's like, "Oh wait, no, that's not going to happen yet. But when it gets there, you're going to be happy about it."
Yes.
So really, kind of interesting stuff. A nice way to play with time. After that, we broke, what's his name? Mason Savoy was broken out of prison.
Yes.
So he's back into the game now. So yeah, now we're in this kind of like settling down, putting the pieces in place for as we march towards the end. John Layman has been talking about. He's leaving Detective Comics and some other things to devote a little bit more time to Chew and kind of get it back on track. It's been a solid book, but it's lost a lot of its buzz and a lot of its heat, so he wants to try and find ways to get some people back on board. We end the last issue with Tony being served one of those freaky, weird space things that's on the cover here, or is this like the genetically engineered something or other?
That's one of the space pineapples that tastes like chicken.
Yeah, so there's a whole science fiction angle to this.
Oh, yeah.
That
it has been since the start.
Pops up and goes back away and pops up. So, yeah, there's something going on. The alien writing in the sky. Tony's having some sort of hallucination with that writing. Yeah, cool stuff, though. Cool stuff. Next up, we've got Justice League number 27. This is continuing Forever Evil. As we know from previous parts of the story, Cyborg's mechanical parts all basically turned evil and left him basically just portions of a person. Now we're getting Cyborg 2.0. So this is the rebuilt Cyborg. He's a little bit leaner, visually quite a bit different than he was before.
Okay.
It's got some elements that are similar to what he was, but not quite as bulky. He's now, the Justice League are still missing. So now he's got to go and find a way to save the day, find the Justice League. But yeah, we're getting Cyborg back into the mix, introducing a new version of the character. And it looks like we've also got the Doom Patrol. There's a rebooted Doom Patrol popping up here at the beginning. So I wonder when that's going to get. Yeah, but it looks like they're actually blending multiple iterations of multiple teams into one team. So we've got kind of that 80s reboot team in here, and I know we've already seen some elements from like the original team. So so yeah, the Justice League and the Metal Man, they're using Justice League to launch a lot of new ideas, and I think actually even Plastic Man has popped up, or the E.L. O'Brien, who would eventually become Plastic Man, popped up and got hit with some nasty chemicals, so we know where that's going to go. But yeah, this is Jeff Johns and Yvonne Race. Great stuff. This is still been kind of one of the linchpins of the New 52. Still going pretty strong. Speaking of the linchpin of the New 52, we've got Batman number 27. This is continuing. Is this continuing Zero Year?
Yeah, but it doesn't say it on the cover.
It doesn't say it on the cover, which is strange. Somebody left a graphic off. But yeah, this is Gotham City 6 years ago. This, I believe, was still kind of in the midst of that Riddler part of the story, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think we're still in the Riddler story. Batman's got there's the question mark. So yeah, this is continuing. Dark City is what this particular part of Year Zero is all about. But this has been really solid stuff. I don't really know. I mean, there's because it's the Riddler, you don't really get all of your information necessarily until you start piecing it together. But overall, this is still a great book. I'm really kind of, the color scheme on this is pretty wild. There's a lot of purples and greens as you would expect from a Riddler story or even a Joker story. But really a lot of cool stuff going on in this book. Next up, we've got Green Lantern New Guardians, written by Justin Jordan. We've already mentioned here once before. This is continuing Kyle's adventures in space. It looks like, is this a new story? Yeah, so we wrapped up where we were, the storyline from last issue. They've been doing shorter, quicker space-based stories. And it looks like we've got some more sci-fi stuff. Kyle Rayner and Carol Ferris and some of the Guardians floating around the galaxy doing stuff. I don't know. This has been a fun book. This is actually my favorite of the Green Lantern books. I mean, Kyle's always been one of my favorite Lanterns.
Okay.
The artwork is great. I think Justin Jordan has got a great handle on sci-fi. Very kind of traditional DC comic sci-fi. It's not like reinventing the wheel. It's kind of It's kind of a throwback, which is what I've wanted out of the Green Lantern books for a very, very long time. Next up, this one's a little odd. We've got FF number 16. Now, last week we had Fantastic Four, which basically ended the story, and there was actually even kind of this last spread here was actually in both books.
Interesting.
So it does look like they're kind of bringing it all together. Yeah, some of these last pages, several of these. So yeah, this is the other half, I guess, of the ending.
Okay.
Would have been better if this came out last week. Maybe it was supposed to, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, this is ending the Matt Fraction, Mike Allred, strange, weird, somewhat humorous FF with Ant-Man and She-Hulk and Medusa and all the Future Foundation kids. They have not announced or rebooted FF. I have to imagine, because it's Marvel now, they're going to eventually.
They seem to like that book in there.
Yeah, so we're going back to one Fantastic Four book. This one's going away. Whatever they do with this concept, I guess we'll see. Next up, we got Avengers World number 2. I really like the first one a lot.
Did you? I didn't get a chance to read it.
It's a beginning.
Okay.
Basically, it's just kind of another Avengers book. This one is tackling bigger scope pictures.
Okay.
Bruce Banner's in the team. They're working with S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit more closely on this book. And again, this is with all the Avengers books, Jonathan Hickman's building kind of a bigger story. People are kind of coming in and out. Stories are changing. So I don't really know what specifically is the story with this one. I know there was some stuff with AIM and AIM Island and the Entropic Man, some old characters coming back up. But, is that a new Yellow Jacket? Wow.
Interesting.
Anyway, this is just continuing Jonathan Hickman's just huge, massive cosmic run on the Avengers. I've been sold from the start. Next up, all new X-Men number 1. I am not caught up on this because the last issue came out last week. So
right, I'm not either.
Along with 2 other X-Men books. But in any event, this is all new X-Men, but this is the beginning of the trial of Jean Grey. So this is what we've been looking for. I don't know what she's on trial for.
Probably all the shit she did as the Phoenix when she...
That's not right. Technically, she hasn't done it yet.
Angela doesn't care.
But yeah, this is also...
the time stream has been broken.
It is also incorporating the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is basically an X-Men. Bendis also writing that. His 2 big books crossing over. Great artwork by Stuart Immonen. So yeah, I mean, you've got Marvel's former huge franchise, the X-Men, with what they are hoping is their next huge franchise, the Guardians of the Galaxy meeting up. But, we've been singing this book's praises from the beginning.
Yes.
This is the team of X-Men from the past who have come into the present, and now they're hanging out here. And
they got new costumes.
They got some new costumes, and apparently they're pissing some people off because one of them was on trial. But I'm looking forward to this. This actually just got nudged out for Pick of the Week.
Really? Okay.
But because I really have been looking forward to this storyline. I like both those books. Seeing where they're going to go with it, very, very interesting for me. So what's your top?
Well, I am. My top pick of the week here is George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead number 1. This is that zombie book that they were hyping up at San Diego Con. This is artwork by Alex Mayleave. I believe this is his zombie universe, isn't it? This is
I think so.
Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
Yep.
Night of the Living Dead, all of that, and this is the next stage of it.
Yeah, this is like the first comic book set in that universe done by Romero.
Right. Yeah, so they're saying it is his. Does he get? Yeah, he gets full on writing credit. He doesn't. There's no one assisting him. He gets full on writing credit. So that's I don't know. It should be kind of cool. Admitted I'm a movie or 2 behind, but I can probably. Because Diary of the Dead, I don't think I saw.
Okay.
That was the one with the found footage or something or whatever.
The Survival of the Dead.
Is that okay? So I'm behind on a couple of those, but yeah, okay.
It's a zombie movie.
It's zombie. It's dead. It's Romero. I'm pretty sure I can follow it, and I love Alex Mayleave's stuff. So this is my top pick. I'm looking forward to this. Romero, zombies, comics, Marvel.
Cool. Well, my top pick is Avengers number 25. Now, like I said, my top pick was almost All New X-Men, which is a story about the original 5 X-Men kind of coming into the present from the past. And stop me if you've heard this before. In this issue of the Avengers, Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man, although, well, technically he looks like Giant Man there, the Wasp from the first few issues of the Avengers pop up in the present. I think that's kind of a cool idea. This is not going to be a new status quo. This is Jonathan Hickman doing a little nod, having a little fun with what Bendis has done. But yeah, basically the Avengers of today, or the Avengers of yesterday, get to pop up in the present because if the X-Men can do it, why can't the Avengers?
Isn't the time stream broken?
Yep. And it's going to keep getting broken. So next we just need the old Fantastic Four. Maybe in the Invaders they can have the Invaders come to the present. Every team that has ever been in the past, we're going to get the Champions and the Defenders and all that stuff. Every Marvel character from the past is going to be appearing.
The Eternals.
The Eternals, everybody. But I just thought that was just such a clever idea and just kind of a nice little nudge and a wink acknowledging like, hey, if Bendis can do this, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, because that the Avengers stuff I've really been enjoying, and because I just think that's such a fun idea for him to go, I can bring the Avengers from the past too, and I'm hoping that that's not what this is going to be. I guess when I was asking how can they have so many Avengers books, maybe that is how they're going to do it. We're going to have one Avengers book being the old Avengers, one Avengers book being Avengers World. It's possible. I hope not. The time stream's damaged enough. But this is just such a fun idea, and Hickman's been doing such a great job. That's why it's my top.
It's nice to take a little breather, too, from all the craziness he'd been up to with Infinity and whatever else.
So yeah, I guess I'm a sucker for characters from the past living in the present.
Fair enough. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, it works for me.
Again, the time stream's already broken. Doesn't matter. Jean Grey's too busy on trial with Angela for anybody to care. So,
indeed.
With that, that is your Week in Geek.